Good afternoon, everyone. We will try and keep it interactive, interesting. Hope you enjoy it. If there's questions at any time, please feel free just to stop us, ask those questions so that we can address them immediately. Also have questions afterwards if time permits. So what we want to chat to you about today is how to organize your transfer pricing department to avoid disputes. I'm going to take you through a short introduction of where we are currently, where we're going regarding disputes, taking through the dispute resolution process worldwide. It's very high level. Fabrizio is going to talk about the legal versus economic considerations when disputes happen. What do authorities look at? Do they look at comparables, or do they look at more on the legislation side? What are tax authorities focusing on? You know, what type of transactions? Reviewing and setting in new transfer pricing policies in a rapid changing economic environment. So what do you need to do to make sure that your policies are still up to date, especially if things change? And key consideration for adapting those transfer pricing policies. And then we're going to have a short little bit of African experience regarding certain methods where we think it might just help with experience from Europe. Okay. Okay, while companies are still recovering from the past few years, this is international, not only in South Africa, and companies are still feeling that squeeze on profit margins in today's economic environment. You know, companies are, as you all know, pressures from the shareholders. There's increased competition, and end of the day, companies need to find tax-efficient ways to boost their profit margins. So if there's an erosion of profit margins, they need to find ways actually to better that. So they look at cost and certain other things. Also a big focus, because of the budget deficit of governments, they are focusing on what to do now to get more taxable income. Okay, transfer pricing also receiving increased attention as a manner to raise taxable income. We've seen in South Africa over the past few weeks, what the EFF has said, Bridget Radebe regarding the mining industry. So it's not only becoming, a tax authority issue, it's also actually becoming a political type of issue, transfer pricing. So and apart from that, also extensive media coverage. If we look overseas at a Starbucks and Google, what happened there?
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think transfer pricing is really becoming a global phenomenon. So it's not just an interesting topic for tax authorities and politicians. The media coverage, Michiel mentioned Starbucks, is very interesting because in a way is a good thing, because I think everyone is becoming more aware of what transfer pricing is. But sometimes the perception that the media is creating of transfer pricing isn't necessarily the right one. And I'll give you a very silly example. Every time somebody asked me in the past what I did for a living, and I said transfer pricing, I would need to spend about 10 minutes trying to explain what transfer pricing was. Last week, I was in a taxi in London, and the driver asked me, what do you do for a living? I said, transfer pricing. Oh, you help multinationals avoid tax. I said, oh, okay. I said, maybe I should consider put that in my bio for the next conference. But really, it's so in a way is good. At least they're picking up that there are some issues, and transfer pricing is important. But when you read the headlines, and I give you the example that Michiel mentioned, Amazon. So when you read the article that was published in the UK, you had Starbucks revenue of however many hundred millions in the UK, tax tiny. And if you don't pay attention, and a lot of people, even if you're a tax person, just read the article and say, wow, you make that much and you pay that little tax, and then you start thinking about, do we pay corporate tax based on revenue or maybe based on profit? So the way that sort of transfer pricing is sold